This is Jarrod Horak, and this is my latest handicapping video. And in this video, I'm going to analyze the Grade 2 Pilgrim Stakes at Aqueduct, Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. This is a win-and-you're-in race for the Breeders Cup Juvenile Turf. If you're interested in reading all of my Breeders Cup articles, you can head on over to todaysracingdigest.com. In their news section, you'll find all of my Breeders Cup articles. I'm writing a new article each day. From now all the way up to the Breeders' Cup. I've already written about 5 or 6 articles already. So head on over to todaysracingdigest.com in their news section to check out my Breeders' Cup articles. I'm doing angles for Breeders' Cup Friday right now. And I've just the Breeders' Cup Juvenile to still go. And then I'll be done with Breeders' Cup Friday articles. And then I can jump forward and start doing the Breeders' Cup Saturday articles. And in the description in this video, I will provide links to all the articles that I've written so far, or you can just go over to todaysracingdigest.com and check those articles out as well. And if you're interested in my full card analysis for Santa Anita Park, for their autumn meet, and for the Breeders' Cup, 2-day Breeders' Cup on November 3rd and 4th at Santa Anita Park, head on over to the runawayhorse.com. You'll find all of my full cards on my sales page. Each day Santa Anita Park runs. You can purchase individual full cards, weekly and weekend packages, the entire meet, both Breeders' Cup days, one Breeders' Cup day, multiple products at therunawayhorse.com on my sales page for more details if you're interested in Santa Anita Park full cards or the 2-day Breeders' Cup. Now we will get into the analysis of this video, and it's going to be the 7th race at Aqueduct, Wednesday, October 4th, the Grade 2 $200,000 Pilgrim Stakes for 2-year-olds traveling 1 mile and a 16th on the outer turf course. The scheduled post time is 4:14 p.m. Eastern Time, and a maiden breaking from the inside post will start the field. Liam's Journey. Mike Makers, the trainer. He's 0 for 2 with a second place finish. He did run a better race second time out. 5.5 furlong debut at Ellis Park. He raced evenly, finished 5th, beaten a few lengths in an 8-horse field. Second time out, adding blinkers, a much better effort, rallied from off the pace to finish a clear second, 6.5 furlongs on the turf course at Kentucky Downs. So now 2 sprints to a route. Typically that's a decent angle. He should save all the ground, probably behind the speed. And Manny Franco is the pilot. Tropandhagen is number 2. And this one is 1 for 1. Broke the maiden at Monmouth Park in a 1-mile turf race. Battled on the pace, took over in the stretch, and pulled clear and won by 4 lengths. This is going to be a better field this time, but he should be at least a pace factor under Tyler Connor. Number 3 in here is Agate Road. This one is a quality road colt for trainer Todd Pletcher. Todd Pletcher has saddled the winner of this race 5 times, including the last 2 years. And this one is 3-1 morning line with Irad Ortiz Jr. in the saddle, and they paid $650,000 for this one. Yellow Agate is the dam, and she won the Grade 1 Frisette. I think that was back in 2016. So for this horse, probably will be rallying from off the pace. The career debut, originally scheduled for the turf, run at 1 mile on a fast track at Saratoga. And in that race, in a 7-horse field, it was 11 lengths back, and he finished strongly, and he ended up finishing second by a nose, well clear of the rest. Second start, he was able to run on the turf course at Saratoga, September 2nd, 1 mile and a 16th on firm turf there. And from post 10 in a 10-horse field, he rallied from the back of the pack, and he came flying in the stretch as the favorite, and he won by a neck. Now, if you look at the fractions of that race first, because the fractions were 24-2, 51, 116-3. They were going slow, and they were flying home there. And if you look at the chart of that race, you'll see that the 3 horses that were up on the pace, they finished 2nd, 3rd, and 4th behind Agate Road. So the pace did not come back, and he was the only one closing, and that was an impressive late kick, and he earned a nice late pace rating. So Agate Road from off the pace certainly is going to be a threat in here. Tifareeh is next. And this one is 10-1 morning line. Brendan Walsh is the trainer, and this one is a Speightstown colt, and he's run 2 times. He was 8th, beaten 17 lengths in his dirt sprint debut at Ellis Park. Kentucky Downs in a 1-mile turf race, second time out. He stalked the pace, sitting in mid-pack after a half mile, and then he made a nice move, took the lead, and then he pulled clear, and he won by almost 4 lengths. He's going to have to run faster in here. Still has some upside. Just like a lot of these, you're going to see a lot of lightly raced horses, and some of them are going to continue to move forward, and some they're just sorting themselves out still, and we'll have to see where this one fits. Probably seems a bit up against it, but wouldn't be surprised if he ran a faster race this time. BD Saints is number 5, 8-1 morning line for trainer Linda Rice. This one's run 4 times, and he has a win and a 3rd place finish. And his win was last time out when they put him back on turf. In his career debut at Ellis Park on turf at 1 mile, he was an even 4th. Second time out at Saratoga at 1 mile and a 16th on turf, he ended up finishing an even 4th in both of those races. He stalked the pace from the inside post, and he just finished up evenly. They moved from the William Walden barn to the Linda Rice barn, and then they tried him in a dirt sprint at 7 furlongs, and he rallied to finish 3rd. And then last time, put him back in a turf route, and he was the favorite, and he was able to control the pace and wire the field. So he did earn a better speed rating last time. Kendrick Carmouche is aboard, and he'll probably impact the pace. Get Spooled is next for trainer Bill Mott. This is a hard spun colt, and they pay $230,000 for this one. And he wired the field against New York bred company at 1 mile and a 16th on turf on the inner turf at Saratoga in his career debut on August 3rd. From post 2, he was just able to get out there, set the pace, and he held on nicely to win by 3/4 of a length. The runner-up was the next out winner. Get Spooled came back in the Grade 3 with Anticipation Stakes, and in that race, he ended up sitting back in 6th in a 7-horse field, making an early move to get to within 2nd by a half length. He had the lead in the stretch, and then he faltered late, finished 4th, beaten 4 lengths. The runner-up from that race was the next out winner, and Get Spooled in here is going to have to improve. He probably will end up, they can set the pace like he did in his debut, or they can try to stalk in here. We'll see what direction they decide to go. And Jose Lescano, who was aboard for both starts, will ride back. Triple Espresso is the second Todd Pletcher trainee. This is a $350,000 Keeneland September 2022 sales purchase. Omaha Beach is the sire, and Warfront was Omaha Beach's sire. Natural Rush is the dam, and Indian Charlie the dam sire. So they paid a decent amount for this one, and they debuted him in a stakes race, the Kitten's Joy Stakes at Colonial Downs at 1 mile and a 16th, and he took some action. He was $2.70 on the dollar, and he was broke slow. He was last he was next to last. It was a 13-horse field. He was sitting back in 12th for much of the running, and then in the stretch, he produced a nice kick, finished 2nd, beaten 1 1/4 lengths. That was a slow early, fast late event, 24, 50, 114, and 4. So he finished up nicely there, and he's still a maiden. But with Jose Ortiz riding back, Todd Pletcher has had a lot of success in this race, as I said earlier. This one certainly is going to be a threat to finish somewhere in the top 3. Fulmineo, number 8. He's 5-1 morning line for Arnold Delacour. This is a Bol Duro Colt. The dam here is a Star of Quality, and the dam sire, First Dude. He's run 2 times with a win and a 3rd place finish. That 3rd place finish was in his career debut at Delaware Park. He finished 3rd, beaten 9 lengths there. Nutella Fellow won that one, and he came back and upset the Grade 1 Hopeful Stakes. Then this horse stretched out and moved to the turf course at Colonial Downs 2nd time out. Firm turf, 1 mile and a 16th on the inner turf. He was towards the back of the pack. He finished up nicely. He won going away by 2 1/4 lengths. Victor Carrasco rode him the first 2 times. Flavian Prat gets aboard this time. I think he's a contender in here. I definitely see him moving forward. Bol Duro, a decent turf sire, proved him that he could handle the turf last time. The dam was a stakes winner. He's got a decent pedigree. Delacour, a good trainer. Prat, a good rider. So he's got the connections. He's got the pedigree. Coming off of a victory, earned a decent late pace rating that day. So Fulmineo is one that I think you can use somewhere in the top 3. Spirit Prince is next, and this one is 9-2 morning line. Joao Rosario is going to ride for trainer Christophe Clement. He's a maiden after 2 starts, but he did run well both times. $110,000 Cairo Prince colt here, and Curlin is the dam sire. Definitely not concerned about the distance because he's already proven that he could handle 1 mile and a 16th on the turf at Saratoga on good turf in his first 2 starts. Stalked and missed by a half length in his debut. The winner was the next out winner, and last time out in the Grade 3 with Anticipation, added blinkers, stalked the pace, finished an even 3rd in a 7-horse field. And then the runner-up was the next out winner. Galibrand won that one for trainer Bill Mott, and she's going to run in the Miss Grillo Stakes. So for Spirit Prince, he's going to have to work out a trip, probably stalking wide from that outside post. I can see him being somewhere in the mix. I probably like him a bit more underneath than anything else. So looking overall at this field, like I said, Spirit Prince maybe underneath. Fulmineo, I think you can definitely use him. Triple Espresso, maiden for Todd Pletcher, can improve. And then looking more towards the inside, Agate Road, number 3, definitely a contender in here. So I think it comes down to those 4 horses, but I'm going to pick Agate Road as my top choice in here. They paid $650,000 for this one, and I really liked that run last time. My own is 16th on that firm turf at Saratoga on September 2nd when he was the favorite. Nobody was closing except him, and he overcame post 10 and a slow pace. The 3 horses that were up on the pace kept on going, but he ran them down, and he just flew home and won by a neck there, earning a strong late pace rating under Irad Ortiz Jr., who stays aboard. And Agate Road, I think, can win this one as well. Now, one of the articles that I wrote for today's Racing Digest was the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Angles article. And one of the races for the U.S. horses. So if U.S. horses do well in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, it's typically they come out of the Pilgrim Stakes. So this could be a horse, Agate Road, or maybe one of the others can jump up and run a quality race here, and maybe they're going to be contenders against probably some formidable overseas runners in that Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Now, if you're interested in checking out those articles for those Breeders' Cup articles, remember, make sure to go over to todaysracingdigest.com. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this horse racing content. And I did the Miss Grillo earlier. I just did this one. And then this week I'm going to have a lot of stakes races as we have a lot of Breeders' Cup winning your in races and some important Breeders' Cup preps coming up at Keeneland, Santa Anita, and some other tracks as well. So keep checking my YouTube channel because more races that I'm going to be covering for this weekend, next weekend, as we get closer to the 2023 Breeders' Cup. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.